What's up, guys? It's your man. I am an dude. I cannot tell you pissed, how pissed I am, man. I worked on all my graphics and everything for a solid hour and change, and when it came down to it, OBS for whatever reason just didn't do what the fuck I told it to do. And if there are many things that really get under my skin, and when things are supposed to work a certain way, when they've been working a certain way forever, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work, kind of rubs me the wrong way. But we're all past it. We're here. Welcome to the six. I of course am joined by our esteemed panelists. For those of you who are just joining us, sorry you guys had to make the jump over here, but this is just how it goes. Software and all that jazz happens, and this and that and the third. So let me go ahead and introduce our panelists. First up, pardon me, the man who should move out of Chicago before he sells his house. It's Minister Jap.
Oh man, church check in, man. Blessings, man. Appreciate you having me on, Donovan. Let's cook, man.
Absolutely. Next up, it's the man who has more startups than a Cal Berkeley dropout. We'll use Cal Berkeley this time. It's Hotep Jesus.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
What up, y'all? We here. We lit. Live. Great discussion tonight. Shout out to Donovan and Sharpe for putting this together. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this topic. I like how you are sort of sneak tip trolling Tariq King Nasheed with that yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to start no shit.
Well,
but like, what happened?
Well, here's the thing. There was a stream he had. Somebody told me he was talking about me. They told me the timestamp it was. I didn't even listen for the context. I just heard him. So I heard him say my name. And I was like, "Oh, thank you for the drop." And I grabbed that, took it, and that was that. Like a lot of these internet people play these games where they want to do, this back and forth with you. I don't do that. I don't have time for that. To get on my stream and talk about another man like that is homo. So, and I'm not homo by any sense. Right. So I'm not going to go back and forth with another man, let alone a woman. So yeah, that's that.
Listen, man, I wish I could say that I've managed to stay out of the fray on that stuff. I do lately. I'm told another fanboy did another video about me. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't
homo. He's homo.
Yeah, they're all. It's just getting out of hand. BOA is up next from the dirty.
What's good, brothers? What's good, man? This is starting to rapidly become one of the things I look forward to at the end of the week, man. I don't really get to chop it up with too many guys with like minds during the week. So, this is a thrill, man. And this is gonna be a great show for y'all tonight, man. Get your pen and pads ready.
Absolutely. Next up, of course, is the guy up in the Northeast who's closer to Hotep Jesus than even I am. It's Kevin Savo. What's going on, man?
And I'm gonna make good use of that. We're gonna get Hotep in a movie.
What?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
In a movie. It's crazy getting to know these guys and becoming friends almost as if we get together and do this in person. It's this virtual thing, but like it still works.
I think I'm the only person on the panel who has physically. Actually, you know what? I've never met BOA in person. I've met everybody. Most guys I collaborate with. I have. You're supposed to give me, Dev. I need more ice. I told her to bring me some ice, man, and she brings me like a half thing full of ice.
Spoken like a true king.
Ice. Yeah, man.
Abusive.
Yeah, yes, I know.
You've gotten up with like 90% of the guys that you work with and correspond with in person, basically, right? Like 90% of them.
You know it, man. And I think that's very important. Send all your complaints to I don't give a fuck at donovansharpe.com. Last but certainly not least, it is Coach EO Everett Overton, who is also out in Chicago. Now, EO, do you live on the south side of Chicago or are you on the north side?
Actually, I'm in Indiana right now. I relocated to Indiana, so I'm just outside Chicago.
Okay,
where I'm currently living. So,
good.
But yeah,
smart man. I've been telling everybody to go there.
Yeah, man. I mean, I did the city for a long time, and it's not. I'm still gonna have a place in the city. Don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna be a
main domicile
location, weekend kind of thing. Special occasion, rent it out maybe. That's probably what I'm going to be doing pretty soon.
Saving on taxes, bro. I know you're saving on taxes.
Yeah.
Listen, Illinois is a very, very high tax state. Cook County, I think, is one of the five most famous counties in America. There's Cook County, Maricopa County in Arizona, Nassau in New York, Miami-Dade County in Florida, and then there's one more. But Cook County is not where you want to be. So tonight's topic is actually quite simple, and the reason I want to talk about this is that the general consensus in the malosphere or manosphere, whatever we decide to call it, is that men should really, really be smart when they date women, right? We should obviously we should vet them very thoroughly. We should be very discerning. We should be very discriminatory when we are dating women. Now, there is a separate sector. Well, not really a separate sector, but there are a lot of people in every faction of the red mindset that just advocates for just leaving women alone altogether. Now, in my experience, from what I've seen, it would appear that it's the younger guys who are saying, you know what? When I see a Donovan Sharpe video or I watch, Fresh and Fit, it's why I will never, ever, ever commit to these hoes, enjoy the decline. I'm never going to be in a relationship, blah, 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 blah. Now, these tend to be the people who want relationships the most, and that's not to clown them, but I understand where they're coming from. So my question to the panel is this: assuming that we all agree that even though relationships are they're a shit show these days, you can manage to carve out a decent relationship with a decent woman if you do the work. Should young men wait to date? And I'm going to start with the youngest guy on the panel, Kevin Savo. Now, Kevin, you're 25. In your opinion, just based on your experiences, is there an advantage for young men waiting to date, or should they get out there and just get their feet wet?
No, I definitely don't think that young men should jump right into the dating pool. I don't think it should be a priority for young guys my age and especially younger getting out there and dating. And I have an audio book called Thought Crime that's on my channel, Savo Central. And one of the chapters I went into this talking about in our culture, this very odd way we have of thinking about relationships. They usually start real young these days. I mean, most people, they start fooling around young and they find somebody young. They have like a teenage lover, somebody in high school, whatever. And the funny thing is, a young man really has no clue what he's getting himself into when he's getting his feet wet with dealing with women. And I think it's really funny how most of the time, this is what I said in the book, that most of the time you come home and you tell the family, you can come home and tell the family at like 15, 16 years old, hey, I found myself a girlfriend. I'm entering a relationship. And the family's sort of like, oh, isn't that cute? That's cool. Whereas I see that as being like, hey, I'm getting involved in something I know nothing about. I'm not mature enough to know how to deal with it, manage my feelings, manage how I work with her properly. It's kind of like coming home and telling the family like, hey, I joined a fight club, never fought a day in my life, but I thought it'd be a good idea. And the family just going, that sounds great. Like, I'm sure he won't get his ass beat. Like, I'm sure this won't go terribly wrong. And fact of the matter is, I think at a certain age, you're too young to be able to handle your feelings, to really understand female nature enough to know how to maneuver a situation with a woman. And come on, let's face it, I'm quite certain most of the guys on the panel are going to agree that, especially if you start real young without knowing what you're doing, it could be disastrous.
I agree. Now, disastrous, you're talking about having a kid out of wedlock or just getting played by the wrong female, or
all of the above. And especially when you're at an age where you don't really know how to like manage your feelings, or you're not even sure what you want to do with a girl when you find one, especially when you're inexperienced and you latch onto them. And especially when you prioritize it. I mean, when you prioritize it instead of prioritizing, what you want to do headed into your 20s, and in your 20s, prioritizing what you want to do headed into your 30s.
Right.
I've heard some other manosphere cats say, I think no serious relationships until after 30. And I agree with that, because I can see where I'm at right this minute, at 25, 5 years away from 30. I could see where I'm at, and I can see it just not meshing in terms of what's the goal here? Like juggling 3 different things at once, when the most important thing to be focusing on at this age is where I'm going to be in the next 5 years. And then that's trading that out for what? Like, where am I going to be with her in the next 5 years, which just isn't as important in the grand scheme of my life.
Okay. All right. EO. Wow. Very, very well said there by Savo. EO, what are your thoughts? Should men wait to date, or should they jump right in and get their feet wet?
No, I don't think they should wait. When I watched the Canelo Mayweather fight years ago, that was a clinic. Okay.
Yes, it was.
That was a clinic. I mean, Mayweather schooled that dude. Now, but look what happened to Canelo after that. So, and the same thing could happen to Caleb Plant. You know, he got in there, he boxed 9 good rounds. The 10th round, he got nailed, and he felt power he's never felt before. So he should come back stronger, wiser, and a better boxer. So in my opinion, you got to see, here's the thing. You can't fight the body. The body wants to have sex. The body wants to be around a feminine woman. If you got your masculinity, you got your testosterone, you want to be around a woman. Here's the thing. If you put it off too late and you take the advice of someone perhaps in the manosphere that guides you and says, hey, listen, put women off until you're 35. Once you get in it at 35, you're going to be a rookie. You're going to be a rookie now. So now you actually have more to lose. I'd rather you lose at 20 when you ain't got shit than to lose at 35 when you actually have some shit. So in my opinion, when I coach, because I'm speaking from experience when I say this, because I coach men, successful businessmen that are in their 50s and 60s, very financially stable men that don't know even how to talk to a woman. I mean, in their 50s, they're still afraid to put themselves in a position to be selected by a woman, to be chosen by a woman. And that's due to a lack of experience or one-itis. Maybe they're with one woman for a long time and they have no idea how to get out here and be successful in this dating market. So in my opinion, I say you get roughed up early, early on, get your fucking scars, get your experience, prioritize women last though. They should be on the list. They just shouldn't be at the front. So it should be you learning a skill, getting your education, building your foundation, but you cannot avoid women because you're going to want to fuck.
Of course.
Every man wants to fuck. So I will tell you this, watch your bad habits though. That's really what ruins men is bad habits and following what your friends are doing, peer pressure. So if you can get a grip on bad habits, smoking, drinking, and following your friends' lead, become kind of your own man, then you're going to be more successful in the dating game. But I'm going to tell you this. I'd rather you get punched in the face real hard early than get punched too late and you're too old. Now you're afraid to get punched again. It's like when you don't have anything to lose, that's when you go out there and get roughed up. But it's like, in my opinion, if you wait until you're 30s, 35 years old to try to learn women, you're going to get fucked up out there.
Okay, good stuff. Real quick, Fear to None with the $3 super stick. Appreciate that. Falcon Black with the one looks like a British pound super sticker. Appreciate that. Okay, so Book of Alpharonomy. Based on what you've heard from Savo and Overton, what are your thoughts? Should men wait to deal with women or should they just jump in?
My perspective on it is this. There's a difference, and we must accept this and admit this. There's a difference between dating and fucking.
Yes.
Huge difference.
Yes, there is.
So I do believe that once that testosterone starts raring in your body at a point where you can't control it in life, of course, I don't know, Savo might still be, he seems like a pretty mature cat. So I think he's on the cusp of grabbing his, and he talks like he's mature. So he may have grabbed control of his, but at 15, 16, 17, 18, you have absolutely no control over, man. You 16 years old, man, your dick get hard when the wind blow. Like there's nothing you can do about it. So you're gonna want to be sexually active, but here's the thing. You ain't got shit. So unless you just one hell of a handsome model-faced guy, you ain't really getting a hold to no super bad bitches if you ain't got nothing. When you're in high school, okay, puppy love, you may or may not get some sex with that shit.
Sure.
But when we're talking about dealing with women, you have to learn how to fuck without feelings. And you learn that young. You ain't got a whole lot of access. You're gonna fuck. Let's stop telling these young guys, no, just fight it. Don't do it. You tell them don't fuck, and then you tell them don't masturbate. What they gonna do? Fucking back gonna blow out if they don't do something. So I say this, man.
Shoot up a school.
You gonna do some shit, right?
Yeah, right.
So I say, man, you make sure that you have a grasp on your understanding that when you're young, getting emotionally tied to a woman is just not a smart thing to do. Because here's the thing. She ain't got shit for you to be emotionally tied to. It's just a whole bunch of being pussy whooped.
That's it.
And that leads to nothing but you having feelings for a woman that are not being reciprocated. So I say this as well. Surround yourself with men who have experience with women. Because a lot of the shit we didn't learn all of it from our own experiences. Some of this shit was taught to us.
That's right.
You know, the same way we teach men now. So you're not going to be able to stay away from women. So get that shit out of your mind. You know what I'm saying? You're just not going to be able to do it. I did a pretty good job of it, man. Now, I ain't going to lie, man. I've been fucking since I was 9. I can't even lie. So, when you really think about it, man, I want you men to understand one thing. You're gonna have to have a release when you're young because this testosterone is gonna whip your ass.
Yes, it is.
So, and until you get a grasp on it, stay out of serious relationships because there's only so much heartache your ass can take, man, before you turn into one of these. And I call them incestuous monsters who fucking, get out here and do silly shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shoot up a school, shoot up a church. Goddamn.
You know what I'm saying? Real quick, I was gonna let I was gonna go Jap, Hotep, Donovan. I'm gonna go first, and then I'll go with Jap. Shout out to Amos Brown with the $10 super chat. And what you just said there, BOA. This is very, very important, and I want guys to understand how important this is. You cannot fight Mother Nature or biology. Whoever the creator is, the physical purpose of life is to reproduce. It is to procreate. And obviously, the younger the people are who procreate, the more healthy the baby, big and strong, turns out to be. This is why all we think about is fucking from the ages of 13 until probably damn near 30. You're really thinking about fucking when you're 15, 16 years old, just like BOA said. The wind blows, you're fucking getting a hard on, having wet dreams all over the place. But what has happened is that when men jump in, and I know, and I'm gonna this will be a seamless transition to what I already know Jap is going to talk about. The trick is, and I agree, you should definitely get your scars in early. However, some scars never go away. You'll fuck around. If girls like you when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you'll fuck around at 25 and have 2-3 baby mamas. At that point, your life is over. Unless, of course, unless you're Mr. First round draft pick, at which point half your check is gone before you even sign your first contract anyway. So, and I know this is impossible for anyone to do. It is very hard for us to expect a 16-year-old, hey man, just, don't fuck. Just Matt. No, dude, guys want to fuck. That's what our biological markers tell us to do. But if you're gonna lack that self-control, the one and only thing, if you're gonna get out here and get your nose bloodied, the one thing that you need to do and make sure that you do above all else is what Jap is about to tell you, and that is what?
Use a fucking condom.
There you go. That's it. What is the importance? See, again, Jap, this is why I brought you on at this particular time, because the dangers of getting into relationships too early. Listen, you can only take so much heartbreak as a youngster. We get that.
Yeah.
But you can get over heartbreak because people are resilient by nature, of especially men. You might be able to get over heartbreak, but my nigga, you can't get over 2 and 3 baby mamas. Like, it just ain't going down like that.
Yeah,
How important is it for guys to go out there and get their feet wet, get their nose bloody, get your heart broken without having kids?
I mean, in order to get the game, you got to get in the game.
There you go.
But I want to be specific. When we're saying dating, are we saying getting into a serious relationship, or are we saying just
dealing with women? Yeah, just dealing with women, because a lot of guys, Jap, think I'm not going to deal with women until I'm a big baller. But just like EO said,
I don't think it's realistic.
Okay.
To tell especially a young man with that type of vigor to not date.
Agreed. Totally agree.
Tell him to not get into a monogamous, serious relationship at a young age. Especially in this time, these women, they got too much access to men. They on social media. You know what I'm saying? We're in thought culture.
Oops.
It's very hard to actually have that real relationship. But what I will say to guys, you don't want to get an older woman.
Right.
You don't want to get a woman that's over 25 and older,
if you're a youngster,
because the magic is gone in the age of coaching and molding. She's too old to mold.
Right.
Too old to mold.
When you're older, you have all your shit together. It's better to have a younger woman that you can mold to your fitting. See, when you get these older bitches that already been through everything, there's no magic in them. You know what I'm saying? They've been on every trip. They've been to every restaurant. They've, it's nothing impresses them because they have so many years, and they are really what you're dealing with is the offspring of another guy's work. Because she's been already molded for another dude, and all of the scars that she has come from other relationships. She's got too much experience, so nothing's new to her, and she thinks she knows everything. Another thing I do recommend that you young cats, you simp early. Get that simp shit out of your system, because
out the way.
Older simps tend to be very violent. That turns into domestic violence. That turns into cases, because.
And what do you mean by cases?
Heartbreak for older men.
Hold on, real quick, Jap. What do you mean by cases? Just so those who aren't criminally up to date on that. What does cases mean?
DG cases.
Charges, catching a charge.
Yeah, catching a charge. Like, man, you're being Fulton County before you know it.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of, like, you start looking at all these crimes of passion.
Right. Oh,
that's
God,
old. That's an older guy putting his all and didn't really have a lot of experience to know that bitches wasn't shit. See, if he didn't know bitches wasn't shit at age 19, 20, or whatever like that, he wouldn't have went so hard. But some older cats go too hard, too fast, and they haven't experienced the fact that the treachery of a woman. I recommend you get that shit. You start to see how treacherous the average woman is at a young age. So you get past that shit, because when you get older and you got shit, you got homes, you got cars, you got money, and you're doing all this investing in these bitches and doing all this shit. Yeah, a bitch might get strangled.
Real talk. I'm trying to tell you, man. Listen, and you said it best. It is crimes of passion. Hotep, you're getting cleanup here.
Yeah. So real quick, so let me help Savo out a bit. I think what Savo was talking about was the discrepancy that Jap was talking about. Serious relationships. When Savo said no, he was talking about serious relationships, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
One thing we have to understand about dating is a game.
Yep.
It's a sport. Dating is a sport, which means you're going to need two things. Yep. You're going to need a scouting report and a playbook.
Woo! Uh-oh. Speak on it. Oh, shit. You're speaking my language now, bro.
Imagine going into the ring with a fighter and you never seen no tape. Or imagine playing a team, in football, they watch tons of tape of the team. They want to know what plays they run, blah, 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 blah. You need to get a scouting report on this chick as best as you can, especially with social media. Go search her tweets and her old tweets. Wow. Type in keywords, sexual keywords. See where her mind is sexually, see where her mind is money-wise, and understand the woman before you even start dating her. And then have a playbook. You got Donovan, you got Jap, you got EO, BOA, you got me, you got Sable, you got everybody here. Study. Formulate your playbook.
Real talk.
Because if you fail to plan, and you plan to fail, as everybody knows.
That's right.
Now, here's the key to this. Not only is dating a sport, it's also a business.
Yes.
So when dealing with a woman, you have to judge something called opportunity cost.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And opportunity cost is, while I'm doing this, would it be more beneficial to be doing something else?
Hey.
And if the opportunity cost of being with that woman is outweighed by doing something more productive, you might not want to spend time with her at that time. But if you've done your work for the day and it's your leisure time, also, we got to look at your bank account.
There you go.
They say don't date because it's expensive. Well, if you can get you a picnic chick,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mexican.
Yes,
oh, my God.
Then you can date. Right? Or a chick that just want to come over and Netflix and chill.
Right.
Although I don't suggest bringing her to your crib, especially if you don't have a real good scouting report, because you might stick your penis in crazy and you don't want to do that. That's trust me, I got a stalker. It's not fun.
Whew.
Okay. So again, opportunity cost. Judge, how much is this date going to cost me? And would it be, and is she worth that? Is she worth this money? Is the punani worth that money? And if you got it, then you can spend it. It ain't tricking if you got it.
Woo, man, that was some serious game. Hashtag picnic Hashtag picnic chick. Dev puts in the chat. One thing that I think that we can all agree on is we all know that dating is a game. Now we know that that's a game. When I was 16, 17 years old, I didn't know that dating was a game. So now I'm going to go around the panel. Now, some guys figured out early, some guys had good role models, growing up. I didn't. I figured out that, when did I figure out that dating was not a game? I'm gonna tell you, or when did I figure out that dating was a game? I don't really know when I figured out dating was a game, but I'll tell you this. I'd like us to go around the panel and talk about the aha moment that sort of not necessarily led us to the red mindset, but where we were like, you know what? Maybe things are a little bit different than what I have been taught. Now, Kevin, you and I had a conversation about how you had this self-introspection. You remember when I was up there, and what you said to me blew me away, because for someone who's 25 years old, it just blew me away. So talk about.
Can you quote this for me? What are you referring to exactly?
Listen, you said to me, I look at all of my relatives. I look at my dad, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, everybody, they get into these relationships and they have kids, but nothing anybody is doing is working. I keep getting told you have to be in a relationship, get married, have kids, and I'm told to do it one way. But my whole family is my family's relationships are shit shows. So why would I want to, like, at some point you said, well, wait a minute, I'm being told to do exactly what they're doing, but it's not working. So what do I do? And that, to me, that blew me away, that someone your age could have the wherewithal and the self-awareness to say, wait a minute, this shit's not working, so I need to try something different. Talk about what led you to that conclusion.
Yeah, just being an observer. Absolutely. Okay. Just observing. Look at who I have to look at. I mean, look who everybody has to look at growing up is their family. Right. And most people follow suit with what they see their family do. You know what's funny about when my age gets brought up? You know what I think about? I think about the fact that most of my relatives have told me, when they refer to, the fact that I'm young, they say like, oh, you're young, you'll get it when you're older, or you'll see when you're older. But the funny thing is, this is what they mean. Oftentimes they mean, of course, I have more to learn about life, but at the same time, usually when we're talking relationships, older people basically are telling me you'll become more blue pill when you're older, and then you'll understand that somehow this madness makes sense. And when we were hanging out with Rollo Tomasi's hanging with me and the fellas, like all guys my age, and not once did he say something. And I mentioned to him, I said, not one time did you say anything to the effect of, you guys will understand a little bit more when you're older. And I told him, I said, I think that's the difference in the red pill, blue pill mindset, is that oftentimes, my relatives hear the way I talk and their lives have been destroyed by women. They've, some of them got 2-3 baby mamas, and they'll actually still tell me, in a way, this madness will make sense to you one day. So look, what I talk about is almost like preventative maintenance. When I hear EO start talking, it makes me realize how MGTOW my opening statement probably sounded. I understand that it's not realistic to not fuck when your testosterone turns on and you go through puberty and your body's telling you it's time to fuck and everything. I do agree with everybody's stance on get a few of them out of the way, get your feet wet so you understand what's going on. But when it comes to making a major decision like hopping in a relationship that could result in everything from chaos to starting a family of your own, it could result in a lot of things that you're definitely not prepared for at a young age. That's where I start to sound more MGTOW, because I guess it is good that I've, dealt with several women at this point in my life. It's also probably the reason I have this stance is I've dealt with so many women. And I look at each of these relationships or each of these women I've slept with, and I really weigh out like which of these benefited me in a way that I feel like it set me up for a better future. I progressed. I learned something. And oftentimes I'm like, no, the parts of my life I feel best about are when I was alone and I was focused and I was working on something. There comes a certain point where I do look at my bank account. I do look at the status of my projects, and when I feel like I have more to do or more to improve on, that's where I start to think the idea of getting close with a woman just sounds crazy, because it just doesn't seem priority in terms of, setting me up for a place where I'm going to be good at 30, 35.
Okay.
I want to say this, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, a lot of people got to understand, especially you young guys. I don't want you guys to think that you have enough leeway because you're young to go through dumb shit.
Right.
Just like anybody else who like let's say we have a 16-year-old and he goes and murders somebody or he goes and commits a crime. They still charge him as an adult.
That's right.
He still gets charged the same way a 40-year-old person
right.
gets charged. So when I say that to say this, you can do the same damage to your life that a 40-year-old man could make. You could have kids. As soon as you start producing semen, you can fuck your life up. Soon as you start, having money the way you have to permanently attach yourself to a temporary bitch, you can fuck your life up at 18 all the way the same way a 40-year-old man can. So you can do the same amount of damage. So it's very important to understand that you have got to secure your future and understand that these women can destroy your life.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of men out here still trying to pick up the pieces from the 90s. I listen to these old niggas right now. They are still the baby daddies and the ex-divorce niggas of the 90s. No game. And I tell guys this all the time. How you deal with women is going to determine how long you are going to continue to be successful. It's not going to determine whether or not you're going to be successful, because you can be successful, but you can lose it all for a bitch. Look at Mike Tyson.
Oh my God.
Look at Tupac. Look, every man who doesn't know how to deal with women loses
eventually. That's right.
And you can lose it young at 18.
Old, yep.
And you can lose your potential to what you could have been, or you can have it and it'll all be scrapped away when you're old. So just know that they're gonna still charge you as an adult. You know what I'm saying?
You had some.
Let me tag one thing on the end of that, man.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
In reference to what Jap is saying, here's the thing: to keep it a buck with you, fucking is a risky business.
Yes, it is.
Like, it's risky. You can strap up, but if you're a young man, you strap up, you bust through the condom, you're not gonna stop.
Nope. You're right.
If you in it, you're not gonna. You one hell of a guy. Come now, man. Let me put you on the right path. I got a few G's. Let's start you off right. If you could do that shit at 16, 17 years old, you are one strong-minded young cat. But I'll say this to you, man. You really can't afford pussy at that age.
You're right.
If you can't afford a baby, you can't afford pussy.
Can't afford pussy. That's right.
If you can't afford to have a goddamn real life fatal attraction in your fucking life, you can't afford pussy. So do it, but minimize how often you do it, because you don't want to get into the habit of taking that fucking risk regularly when you don't have anything yet, and every single wrong move you make can affect your ability or at least impede your progress in whatever direction you want to go. So proceed, but proceed with caution like a motherfucker, man.
Use the Minister Jap method. Pull out with your rubber on. It's like it never happened. All you did was allow the pussy to jerk you off.
Hey, you also got to learn that jujitsu, right? Like when the bitch tries to like you know what I'm saying? Like
the praying mantis, as Coach Greg Adams would say.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I remember I had Japanese too. He's like, look, I got to be like, all right, nope, you ain't finna make me no. Real quick, here is the difference. I think I figured out why Kevin is so wise at his age. Kevin, let me ask you something. When did you know that filmmaking was something that you wanted to do? I think you're muted.
My apologies, bro. No, my brothers and I have been making movies since we could crawl. So since we still had the VHS tape cameras.
Stop right there. Listen, stop right there. This is why Kevin understands. This is why he understands things better than most 25-year-olds, because he has a what class? He has a purpose. And it just hit me when Kevin said, well, I mean, if I could either be fucking or doing something more productive. When I was 25, I didn't have anything else productive to do except for fuck. Kevin does, making movies, and that shit's tough. So if you're one of the fortunate few men, males, boys who finds out what his purpose is, at that point, that's when you can, that's what gives you a little bit more resolve to put your purpose ahead of the pussy. Not going to be easy because, I mean, Kevin, you're only 25. You're still a walking boner at this point, but your purpose still comes before the pussy.
I'm simmering down with that a little bit.
Really?
A little bit, but let me just speak to this real quick. You know, I'm listening to everybody. I'm listening to everybody talk, and it's making me wonder if I sound like terribly MGTOW, and that's not necessarily how I am. But I will say this again, like listening to EO's points made me realize I'm sitting here thinking while I'm listening to you guys talk. If I never became attractive to women, if I never learned how to carry myself, if I never built rotations, and if I hadn't have slept with the amount of women that I have, it probably would have fucked with my confidence to a certain degree. Getting it out of the way. And now being in a place where I literally don't care if I go without sex for the next year. It's just I've had enough women in chaos to know what's on the other side. You know what I mean? To know that the grass isn't always greener. Because like when I was a teenager, I didn't get laid when I was a teenager. I started getting laid like after 18. And I would look at other guys that are getting laid and I'm thinking, this is it. Like this is what it's all about. And now that I've been more than on the other side of that, seen more than like, you know, is the grass really greener? Now I feel differently about it because I'm always hesitant to how much risk I'm putting myself in the way of and how much time I'm wasting. And I'll leave it off with this. Again, I don't know how crazy MGTOW I sound, but this is just what this topic brings out of me. I'm gonna drop a Stallone quote that no one ever quotes. They always quote Rocky. They always quote Rocky. I never forgot this. And this is just how I'm feeling at this point in my life, being focused on my work. Jason Statham's bent out of shape over a chick, and Stallone goes to him, you know, sometimes you'll be with her and it's hot and heavy and it's nice and you're making love and that's all good and well. But think about it. After that, what do you do for the rest of the day? And that's just kind of how I think about hopping in a relationship. People tell me it's unhealthy to avoid it, but I look at it and I'm like, is this going to get a movie made? Is this going to up my bank account? So certainly not going to up my bank account. It's going to fucking make it drop more. I don't know. It's just
always
Expendables too. That was Expendables too.
Yeah. Recreational status, recreational use only.
Again, no, I totally agree. But we have to understand we're talking about young guys.
Playtime. A bitch is recess to me. You're like notice when you were in school, they didn't give you a grade for recess.
No, they didn't, because it's easy.
And recess, you had like an hour out of the day to fuck around and play. That's recess. The woman is recess. She's a release. She's recess. Okay, time to get to the business. Time to get to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So don't let these hoes be a distraction. And some of you guys are purely focused. You know, you let your body go. You let your money go all over the place. And you're chasing recreation. You got to understand, we are in a new day and age. These women are easy as a Sunday morning. It's not as hard as it used to be.
No, it's not.
Today, you used to have to sing, serenade, flowers, cards, candy. None of that shit matters. Like chivalry's dead and they killed it. You don't have to do this shit no more. You literally can literally just meet and greet and fuck. It's the hookup culture we're in right now. We're in hookup culture. So if you are focused on being Ronnie romantic, you're losing money doing so. I suggest you change your strategy.
I agree, but again, we know what the problem is. I want to make sure guys understand. Listen, definitely use women for recess, but the best way, you're never going to not want to fuck, especially when you're young, but you have to have a purpose. AMS talks about this all the time. Being on your purpose. Being on your purpose not only gives you purpose, but it keeps you distracted from women. Again, we all want women and this and that and the third, but nothing will impede your progress. Nothing will impede your progress than even a productive bitch. Dude, you could get a bitch that is actually productive and she could still impede your process. I'm going to go to EO next, but first, shout out to Theo Woff with the $100 super chat. Says saying hi to the six again. Good to see this Sunday program again. Shout out to Minister Jap, Theo Woff. It's been a while, fam. It's been a while, man. Good to see him back in here. Okay, so EO, what was your moment of clarity when you figured out, you know what, dating is not what I was raised to believe, or did you always kind of know that it was a game?
Yeah, I never had any good examples of like relationships because where I grew up, nobody was in one. It was all dysfunctional, or one guy's hitting his wife, the other one's cheating on her husband. Yeah. So it was a blessing, really, that I didn't have like a biased viewpoint in relationships, because then I went out there and made my own determination of what it's like to actually be a man in the game and then test the waters. Sometimes you can have a fairy tale example from your mom and dad, and they can teach you the fairy tale, the Disneyland shit, and then now you go out here and think that that's how it's going to work out here with these females, and they look at you as corny and shit. So sometimes not having examples is a blessing, because now you actually go out there, get scuffed up, and figure things out. I want to say something that's really important here. You guys right here, a lot of these men in the manosphere are coming here for answers, and they're listening to guys that are like, kind of tired from the game. And now our focus went from the game with women to now the money game.
Yes.
These guys here are interested in money. I'm not thinking about women, but there was a time that was a bit, and to deny that, you're not telling yourself the truth. Like, you have to admit that before a woman was recreation, she had to be important. Like you, and I say that women are garbage time. I mean, for the most part, it's garbage time. But that doesn't mean she's garbage. That just means that I'm not interested in women. I mean, I got a woman, but I'm not interested in them like that, because I had to exhaust women to reprioritize them. Okay, just like you have to spend money foolishly to respect money. Okay, sometimes you do have to foolishly spend your money. Sometimes you got to go out there and talk shit to somebody, get busted in the mouth to not do that shit no more. Like I shattered my entire arm because I got ambushed from the back from someone that I was talking shit to. Damn. Lesson learned. I was talking shit at a rooftop party in Chicago, talking shit to this dude. I was drunk and shit. This motherfucker ran from behind, shoved me. I fell wrong, shattered my entire arm. And I have seen, but it was my fault because I went in there talking shit. So, you got to understand that. And this is one of my famous quotes that's in my second book. You can't know what you want until you are in the presence of what you don't want. Ooh, there's no way to know what you want until you experience something that didn't work for you. Like you taste something, you're like, oh, hell no, I ain't never tasted that. But you wouldn't have known unless you tasted it. So like telling men, like this is kind of a problem I'm seeing, like, at least is my opinion. It's a problem to tell men like to not get out there and sample. I want you to deal with the best women that I learned from in the game was divorced women. When I used to sit at the bar at 21 years old, get sexy, look fly, smell good. You're going to see a cougar walk in about 40 years old, sit at the bar. She don't want you to take her nowhere. She wants you to fuck the shit out of her. YouTube chill. So just remember, some of these divorced women are the best women to learn from, because they don't want you to take them nowhere. Really, honestly, if she's been locked up, she don't, and maybe her ex-husband took her out. She's like, I don't need a man to take me. I need a man to fuck me. I need a young body. I need someone I can dominate for a little bit. Let her dominate you. Know what that feels like to be dominated by a woman. So then you become used to it. So I want young guys to get out there and get fucked up a little bit. I do. Now, here's the one thing before I go. Okay, go ahead. Don't get fucked up the same way twice. Get fucked up. Get fucked up. You're gonna get fucked up. Everybody's getting fucked up. No one comes into this life knowing shit. And even when you think you know shit, life shows you still don't know shit. So what I'm saying is, just make a mistake, be brave, of course, be calibrated. Don't just run into situations, but sample things. You got to know what you like. You'll never know what is suitable to you. You'll never have a preference unless you know you sampled something and you're like, I'll never do that again. So if you listen to us tell you about our life story, I noticed this. Like a lot of young guys I coach, they live in fear, man. They're afraid to go after jobs. They're afraid to talk to women, and a lot of it is coming from the manosphere. I swear to God, it is. Yes. I'm saying this with love. A lot of it is coming from jaded men that have emotional trauma they haven't dealt with, and they're playing defense all the time. Yes, I'm big on offense. I'm so offensive, I don't have to play defense. I mean, I'm going to play a little bit of defense, but I played enough defense in my 20s and 30s. Now I'm on the offense. So I just want to tell guys that date a Latina, let her cuss you out. Oh my God. Date a black girl, let her have an attitude. You got to know what that feels like to have a bitch have an attitude with you. That's right. You got to know what that feels like to know how to adjust to it and handle it in the future.
I'll tell you something else, EO, is older women will also put you up on game.
Hell yeah.
Older women will put you up on game. Be like, yo, check this out. You're a young buck. when I was your age, I used to do X, Y, and Z. Older women, dude, I remember when I used to fuck older women who were married, they used to tell me how they cheated, how they got away with it. I was like, wow, are you kidding me?
A smart guy is writing all that shit down. Like he's like, oh, okay.
I want to tell these young guys out here, because a lot of these guys get so red pilled, they get so manosphered out. Please, please stop telling bitches that you watch this type of shit.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus.
Oh my God. Christ. You're literally shooting yourself in the dick. Bruh. You are supposed to be undercover, incognito, and you have got to understand and listen to bitches. Allow them to talk so you can see the strategy of these bitches. You guys come like, yeah, I watch bitches in Japan. He says that you hoes ain't shit. You're a joke. No. You're gonna fuck you're fucking my shit up too, because you right these bitches over here. But you're gonna fuck yourself up. And what EO was saying, man, in a nutshell, man, experience is the best teacher. You're not gonna learn this shit until you go through this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna take it one step further. Not only is experience the best teacher, you watching other people and learning from their mistakes. See, I don't have to go to prison to know that it's a cold cell and I'm gonna be taking a shit next to a goddamn man. You know what I'm saying? And be bathing with men. I don't have to go through that to know that that's what the reality is. I can hear that, observe that, and I don't want to be a part of that. You should be smart enough to observe the mistakes of other men. And a lot of other men, just watch them, especially those guys from the 90s, because they're the first simps.
Hotep, what you got?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know Jack was done.
Are you good? Did you have something else?
No, I just said, man, experience is the best teacher.
Okay.
And you guys got to start experiencing some shit and look at other people's experiences, and please stop giving these hoes the playbook.
Yes, I don't know how many people have told me, Donovan, I watch your show with my girl, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Listen, women don't want to know how the sausage is made. They just want to eat the fucking sausage. I know you're excited to tell everybody you know that you found the red pill. Don't tell your girl. Hotep,
just a little something to relax to.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. So Hotep, what was your aha moment where you figured out, oh, wait a minute, dating really is a game?
Yeah, real quick, let me just say, hey, fellas out there, if you ain't hit the super chat button, hit that thing. Pay your tuition, man.
Yes, sir.
These folks up here is dropping gems that, I mean, it's priceless.
This motherfucker.
This is priceless material you're getting here. Okay, so I got lucky.
Oh shit! I forgot to pay you guys from last week. I just remembered. Okay, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry about that. I just remembered. Sorry about that, guys. I'll get you guys.
And I could have sworn you did.
Well, now let me check. Make sure I didn't. But go ahead.
I got lucky. I got my heart broken very early. I talked about this. I had Coach Greg Adams. Thank you, Donovan, for hooking that up. I spoke to Greg Adams last Friday. Go to my channel, check that out. Hotep
He's a good
Jesus.
dude, man.
Amazing interview. I got my heart broken at 16, and here's two mistakes I made. Number one, I was under the impression of that fantasy where, you romance her and do all these things and go out of your way to like make her happy. And all that did was push her away.
Right.
It even came off as smothering. The second mistake I made was she was a 9.
Hey! Oh, dude. That's it.
She was bad,
yes.
Which means that the hyenas were hovering.
Oh my God.
And
I ain't never heard it put like that before, dog, but you might be right.
Hold on, before you get this, I gotta ask you this, because I always had this theory about this.
She was a bad bitch.
She's a 9, but was the pussy A1? Because it's been a lot. I fucked a lot of bad bitches that pussy wasn't.
You fucked
let me say this.
Boy and her pussy stank. I'll never forget that.
Let me say this. I was such a simp. I never hit it. I was a simp.
Wow.
He was dry humping the shit out of me.
You sound like a man named Douglas.
Yo, trust me. If you were younger than me, I was such a good boy. Like, let me tell you, I didn't smoke a blunt till I was 18. Okay.
What? Me too.
I was a nerd. I was a geek, but I had swag. Like, I dressed stylish. I had all the girls.
Okay.
I just never stuck it in. and she had
You
the
had
beautiful
opportunities.
set.
That counts.
I mean, she took her top off. I was just ejaculating right away. I didn't even need it. She was a 9. You know what I mean? She sat on my lap and it was just there. So, I was getting my nut and it felt great. So, but anyway, so she was a 9 and a hyena's a wolf. And what happens is, I'm almost like a semi-expert on lions because when I can't sleep, I watch lion documentaries.
Huh.
Yeah. So what happens is with the lions is they catch something like, let's say, a wildebeest or a bison or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the hyenas come, the crocodiles come, and now they have to protect their kill from the hyenas. But there's so many hyenas that they get outnumbered and they have to flee and give up their kill.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's what happened with me when I had the 9. The hyenas was everywhere and I had to flee. Right? I just wasn't qualified to handle that, but something magical happened to me. Now, I don't know if she cheated, but she definitely expressed in front of me her attraction to men in our high school. And to me, that felt like cheating. Okay. And one day, a girl that was in her grade came up to me in the stairwell and said, "Brian, I want to make out with you." Yeah. And this is after she had already, my girl at the time had already broken my heart. So this was my first opportunity to cheat. This is my first time cheating. And I made out with that beautiful girl.
What?
And it felt great. I said, "Oh shit, I'm officially a player now."
I love it.
And that changed my life. Okay. And this goes back to what we were saying before about you got to go out there and you got to make mistakes early. Right? Calculated mistakes early. And because I got my heart broken so early and I had my first opportunity to cheat so early, I was ahead of all my peers as far as the dating game was concerned. So I never was, from that moment forward, I was never emotionally invested in a chick.
Right.
It's very hard for me to even be emotionally invested in a chick now. It's just impossible almost because I don't trust them. And the other thing is I only hit 8s and 9s, and 8s and 9s ain't going to be exclusive to you.
Okay? No, sir.
So I have an addiction to 8s and 9s.
She belongs to the streets.
Right? She belonged to the streets. That's exactly it. You know what I'm saying? So again, the 2 mistakes I made was I was in that dating fantasy, buy her flowers, do this, that, and the third. Here's one thing I want to say too.
Okay.
After you rate a chick, I want you to take the number that you rate her, and that's the number of figures you have to make in order to even have a chance of making her exclusive outside of anomalies and outliers.
Okay.
If she's a 9, you're going to need 9 figures. If she's an 8, you're going to need 8 figures. She is 6, you're going to need 6 figures, especially now, just to semi-guarantee some exclusivity because the hyenas are everywhere.
And hyenas are adept at killing lions, especially if they are outnumbered, my friend.
Oh, yes.
BOA, man, what was your moment of clarity? Like, when did you figure out, okay, dating is a game, or have you always known that dating was a game?
Man, my story is a little bit different, and for better and worse. For a lot of guys may think that, this is a positive, but I'll tell you how it's negative as well. I got a whole lot of information, man, from uncles and their friends and just from pimps. I just got a whole lot of information from those guys and not really fed it intentionally, but just them allowing me to be around. And we know better now. Fucking 4 or 5-year-old kid is soaking up everything your ass is saying.
Real talk.
If he can understand the words, he's retaining the information. And so I just listen. Of course, there's a bunch of the shit that I couldn't really process and make it make sense to me. But as I was going along, the things I was seeing, I already had an explanation for them. So by the time I got into women, I knew 2 things. I knew that a woman can't cheat on you unless you trust her.
Woo.
A woman can't lie to you unless you believe the bitch is honest. A woman can't take nothing from you unless you trust her with your shit. Damn. So my approach to women, by the time I start dealing with them, I don't want anybody to think I'm saying, I had the game down lock when I ain't really started dealing with bitches. I was a player, little motherfucker. So, I'm 9 years old. I don't know if I should be talking about these ages, so I won't get into the ages of it. You two might have a problem with it, but I'm 9. Girls a little bit older. I'm 11. Girls a little bit older. But it was just, that's just, I like you, you like me. Okay, we both got these hormones and shit going on. Let's see what this is about.
Let's do something.
What I found out is every girl was always much more experienced than I was.
Yes.
So I'm not talking about experience you learn from watching shit on. I'm talking about experience. And when I put those things together, it just never crossed my mind to trust a bro. Like it just never crossed my mind that I should be in a situation where I should trust a woman. Like even to this day, I don't believe anything a woman says. Her actions have got to match that shit, or I'm just not gonna go for it. She could be telling me the truth. I don't give a shit. I need to see actions because I know how easily she can lie with her words and turn her tears on. I tell you an example, man. Some shit I saw, man. I think I was 8 when I saw this. There was a 4-year-old little girl. Something she couldn't get, boo-hooing her ass off. I mean, boy, I thought she was gonna die. As soon as they gave her what she wanted, her ass laid her head on her dad. And when I saw her face, she had a little grin on her fucking face. She was 4 years old, bro. Wow. And I said, oh, shit. If she could do this at 4, man, you fucked up by the time they get 15, 16. Boy, they're running all kind of circles on your ass. So when you put all of these things together, I just never been. When I tell guys, they're like, no, BOA, we've all been there. I'm telling you, man, I have never been in a situation where a woman has broken my heart because the time I started dealing with them, I just couldn't trust them. I never have. I've never trusted a woman in my life, but I've also undoubtedly missed out on some good girls because of that shit.
Okay. All right.
Some girls who probably could have been beneficial to my life in a way if I had let them get closer. And even to this day, man, I still don't let women get close to me, man. For me, being with a woman, having a woman in my life is a 100% business arrangement. If she can't contribute nothing, I don't give a fuck how fine she is. I'll take a 6 who can contribute on 10 levels before I take a dime. Well, ain't no dimes. I give them a 9.4. If I can, before I take a 9.4 who just ain't got shit but beauty. That's just the way I'm wired. And I don't want to change it. I mean, this is just who I am, for better or for worse. Whatever I missed out on, cool. So I think I'm scarred from knowing that so young. And whereas other men were going into those relationships, I was already observing the beguiling nature of the female from way back. And I just have never seen anything to make me believe that this woman right here, I'm a hell of a guy. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a hell of a guy. But I'm not so goddamn great that I'm gonna find that one. I can promise you that.
Okay, good stuff. Wow, hell of an origin story there. I'll tell mine here in just a second. Dalton Turner, $20 says paying my tuition for this wisdom. Thank you guys. Joe Abundance, $10 says use American women for recreational purposes only until minimum you're 40 plus, and then if you want to settle down, go abroad. Sending blessings to the panel. I cannot argue with that. There was one more.
You got to go abroad, but you got to go to the bush too. If she got a cell phone, she's still westernized.
Real
you got to get you a woman that's got on a
connection.
If she got on a straw skirt, then that's the one. You know what I mean? But don't let it nowhere near technology.
No, I am a strong advocate of the Mexican.
I love Strike with the $10 super chat says the rise of Hotep was worth the price of admission. Unique 79 with the $13.43 Cash App. He wants to know, and I'll go around the panel with this, or I'll tell you what, I'll ask this question after I tell my origin story. My origin story is very, very simple. It was 4 relationships that taught me that relationships really were a game. And I'll go through this very, very quickly. Relationship number 1 was my marriage to my ex-wife, Darcy. I married her when I was 25. She was 26. She was an ex-meth head. She had a 5-year-old daughter who she didn't have custody of because she was a meth head. Her daughter does not know that the man that she calls her father, that's not her biological father. Dad doesn't know, neither does the daughter. I didn't find this out until 5 years into the marriage. The reason why Darcy married me is because she wanted to get out of her parents' house. I think we had sex. I don't know. We had sex for like maybe the first year of our marriage. Then all of a sudden we wanted to join the Catholic Church. She used that as an excuse not to have sex with me for 18 months. Relationship number 2 was a girl I never even fucked. Her name was Carla. I rented her a 3-bedroom, and a lot of you have heard this before. I rented her a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house near downtown Raleigh, right there on East 2nd Street. All while she was fucking her ex-con baby daddy. I'm paying all the bills, the rent, the cable, the electricity, all of it in my name. As soon as I found out that he was fucking her, that's when I pulled everything. Relationship number 3. This was easily the worst heartbreak of my life. Very long story, very short. I was 31. She was 19. She was hot. She was the most attractive woman I had ever had anything to do with. So she was 19, had a 6-year-old kid. What's 1996, gentlemen? That's 13. She'd been fucking since she was
Oh,
12, 13 years old.
God damn.
The baby daddy was my age, right? So when she was
Wow.
so she gave birth at 13 years old to a child that was fathered by a 31-year-old man who was in prison serving an 18-month jail sentence for statutory rape. The only reason why they didn't throw Jessica's Law at him is because she testified that she'd seduced him, and the jury bought it. He gets out of prison. I break up with her. I regret it. So the day after I broke up with her, I go and I propose to her. She says yes. It's a trailer park love triangle. Finally, Thanksgiving Day of 2009, she says, Donovan or Alex, I'm gonna marry Ben. Blah 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 blah. Completely crushed me. 3 months later, I get a call. I'm in Atlanta, or actually, I'm in Vegas by now. Almost a year and 3 months later, I get a call from one of our mutual friends. Her name is Tammy. God rest her soul. She's dead. She says, "Hey, Alex, Ben is dead." What are you talking about? Ben is dead. Well, Amy had been cheating on Ben, and the guy she cheated with shot Ben in the chest. Okay, get this. I'm not done. So Amy ended up having another child with the man who killed her baby daddy. So the daughter, listen. Her first daughter's father, her second daughter's father killed the father of her first daughter.
Wow.
That was relationship number 3. Relationship number 4, not serious at all. It was a big-titted Mexican bitch. She had terrible breasts. She was a
Mexico.
Right. Dated her. I dated her for 3 weeks. A weekend, I knew she was a single mom. She was not disciplined. It was terrible. I went to her house. I said, "Listen, we're done." She didn't really seem to be broken up about it because she told me she loved me on like day number 4. I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with this bitch?" Talked to a mutual friend later that day. Yep, she's out on a date. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, this bitch told me she loved me. I go to Google, why do girls get over breakups so easily? The Rational Male, The Return of Kings, and the rest is history. Those were the 4 relationships that told me that dating was really kind of a game. It's real out here in these streets, guys. And the only reason why now BOA, you're a little bit different because you figured it out early on, but you cannot get to this level with knowing a woman's true nature unless, just like EO said, unless you experience what you don't like. That's the only reason why I know womanese. That's the only reason why I know these bitches ain't shit, because I've been played many times before.
Quick, Donovan.
Yeah, go ahead.
You need to fucking make a movie with Kevin off this shit. I can't wait to watch the movie.
Oh no, the Donovan story.
Yes.
Oh
and
shit.
This and guys, if you're in the chat, this is why you do not meet women on POF and Christian Mingle.
Man, I am trying to tell you. And listen, I remember when I first entered the manosphere, guys are like, "Why does this guy talk like he just..." Guys, I have lived this shit. Like, I've lived this shit. This is why I know bitches are gonna do what they do, and why they're gonna say what they say. And I'm a hard-headed motherfucker. I had to make the same mistakes again and again and again.
Hey,
Hold on real quick. Then I got good with women. Then I started fucking with strippers, and that took things to a whole nother level. Go ahead, Jeff. You got it.
Hey, I listened to all 4 of those stories. It sounded like one thing that they all had in common, bro.
What's that?
Single mothers.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? You're right. All 4 of them single moms. Yep.
They were all single moms.
Yeah,
it was all a disaster.
All of them. Yeah, exactly. And I have never met a single mother who was actually a good mom. Not even my own. Not even my own. That's just how it is.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Question for the panel. This came from Unique 79. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. This is a very, very good question. He said, should your 20s be about building your empire? EO, I'm gonna let you lead off on this. Should your 20s be about building your empire? Yes, no, or do you have a different answer?
Okay, so like off the bat, I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. You need life experience in your 20s. Now, that doesn't mean that you should abandon like settling into a skill, getting some education, building a foundation. No, you got to make your money. Survival is number one, but that's really with any human being. But you got to get experience in life in general. So I would rather you fuck 100 women from the age of 18 to 30, if not more. Okay. Wrap it up. Don't repeat mistakes. And then get that out of your system. Learn what it's like to be with a single mother. Look, I've dated single mothers. They cook good. They cook good. They give good massages. All right. If you know how to run them, if you don't let your emotions get involved with any woman, you're gonna be okay. But problem is, you get a single mother who makes good food, who's serving you, sucks your dick good. Now you're falling in love with her, and that's because you're trying to replace your mommy. But the truth is if you could just date women casually. Please just date them casually. Do not even get in a relationship. If a woman tells you, I'd like to be in a relationship, say, well, don't they all? But right now I'm not getting in a relationship with anybody. Now, if you make it until I'm 30, I'll consider it. But I am not getting into any relationship with any woman in my 20s. And so I suggest that you fuck as many women as you possibly can with a rubber on. And like Jap said, pull out. I used to get blowjobs with non-lubricated condoms on. This is
yes. Oh, that's next level.
I used to put a non-lubricated condom on and say, yo, blow that real quick. So because you have to almost exhaust your experiences with women to know they ain't shit.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't take my word for it because you're always gonna want to know what that pussy is like. You're gonna want to know what it's like to have a woman kiss on your neck. You're gonna want to know what. You can't just take my word for it. I know this. So what I suggest is definitely get your education. Now you don't have to necessarily go to college, but you have to learn a trade. Become a truck driver, become a welder, carpenter, a plumber,
underwater welding, millwright. Those are, oh my God, those are life skills.
Yes, I mean something like that, or get in sales because that helps you with your social skills. And you can, and then the sky's the limit as to how much money you can make, and get into something that has longevity to it. Forget about these pipe dreams, trying to like do your dream job at like 22. That's not to say you can't do it, but I think you're more likely to do it later than to do it earlier on. So no, I'd rather you. Women are a priority, and they should be a priority in your 20s. And to hear a man say they're not a priority, he's lying. Okay, because even if you just want to fuck her, she's still a priority.
That's right.
You're lying to yourself if you don't say that. So she is a priority. She's just not top priority. Okay, fuck as many women as you can. You can Latino, white, black, Asian, thick, skinny, MILFs. Right out of college, in college, as many as you can fuck. Do not fall in love with them. Don't let them pressure you in a relationship. Tell them no. And that way, when you get to 30, you're like, yo, I know what these females are about, man. Now it's time for me to go in there and grind out, make my money. And by the time you turn 40, see, you fuck during your 20s, you work during your 30s real hard. And then 40s, now you're coasting, traveling, and you have a lot of game, a lot of life experience. So that's how I would guide men.
Very good. Excellent. Hotep, now you're a startup guy. Would you recommend building your empire in your 20s, or would you save that for your 30s? How would you do that?
Well, your 20s are your 30-year story years.
Okay.
And really what that means is when you turn 30, you get to tell the stories of what you did in your 20s.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of 30-year-olds out here. They got some boring stories.
Shit, not me.
Or ain't got no stories.
Right.
So you got to live like a badass.
Yes, you do.
And that goes for even, I'm not talking about just with women. I'm talking about even in business. When people talk about me and how great I am at business, it's because of what I did with my record label and several businesses I had, selling mortgages when I was 20. So the 20s are really your years of cultivating experience. And that's why you have stories. If you have no experience, you have no stories.
That's right.
Okay? So your 20s are all about experience. Your life is about building your empire. Hopefully you had a good father in your life and he started you at a young age building your empire, right?
Okay.
Giving you the type of skills you need, But a man's life is about building his empire. Why? Well, the communists are coming.
Uh-oh.
And they're encroaching upon your freedoms. And there are some people that are exempt from many things in life. For example, we saw the rules were bent for Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, they were.
He built his own empire, right? Being one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the sport.
That's right.
So your life is about, even as when you are at the end of your life and you have your son, right? He's the one that's going to have to take over the empire. So when you hit 60, you should have I want to say fort. but that's not what the word I'm looking for. But let's go with that.
Okay.
You want to have your walled off fort, okay? And I forget what they call it in Africa when you have your big land, big plot of land.
Okay.
But that's what you want, right? You want to be able to isolate yourself from the world if worse comes to worse. You want to have self-sufficiency. You want to have, your chickens, your goats, whatever it is. But you want to make your life to the point where some of the things that are happening in the world don't affect you as much as they do the average person.
Okay.
So it's not your 20s about building your empire. Your life is about building your empire.
Good stuff. And congratulations to Hotep Jesus, who made an appearance on the Fox News channel this past week, man. Dude, I watched the spot and it was funny. I had no idea that you were going to be on Fox News. I was just flipping channels. I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking Hotep Jesus. I call Olivia. I'm like, Olivia, come downstairs, because you remember me, you, Olivia, and Devin. We all had dinner at the Capitol Grill.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yo, do you remember the guy we had dinner with? 5, 6. She's like, yeah, that's the guy who did the coffee thing. I said, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Very
Shout out
good.
to Lawrence. Lawrence hooked that up. Great guy, man.
Good stuff. So congratulations to.
And apparently, I'm going to be on Fox Soul Tuesday, but they sent over this release, and I don't like the verbiage in that release. They was like, we can use your likeness any way we choose, and I was like, no, y'all can't. So we'll see how that goes.
Good shit, man. We'll be looking for the spot. Jap.
Yeah.
Do you spend your 20s building your empire? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes. That the younger you are, that's when you need to be chasing it.
Okay.
I hate to see older guys trying to chase a dream and trying to chase an idea.
Okay.
At an.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay. For instance, like
Rappers.
if you are trying to yeah, definitely rap.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I hate to see a 40-year-old trying to drop a mixtape.
Nigga had $1 in a dream. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Come on.
But like to be 40 and be like, you know what? This is what I want to do. No. You should really be chasing that shit at a young age when you're youth, your vigor, where you can actually only have 4 hours of sleep, and it doesn't affect you the way it does a 40-year-old.
Oh my God.
And what I want to tell the young guys out here, if you're in your 20s, think about your 40s.
Okay.
So anything you do from right now, you need to be thinking 20 years ahead, because these women don't think like that. They think about Friday. They think about, like their only goal is to make it to Friday. You need to think about setting your life up for 40. And once you start thinking like that, all your decisions will be wise. You're making 20-year decisions and everything you're doing. And I think that you'll be much more strategic, much more planned out. Things happen better in your favor. You'll make more calculated decisions, thinking about everything long term. Because in the end, like I've been cooking bitches all week, and I've been telling these women that we've won all this gender war, all this.
Yeah, we won.
Look at the results. If you look at the results of feminism, and you look at the results of all these women complaining with all this everything online from blogs,
we win.
to check.
That's us.
We are winning. Our lifestyles look better. Coach Greg Adams' lifestyle looks amazing. We don't have. My life is amazing. You're like everybody on this panel is living a great fucking life. Look how EO dresses. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
Like, fam, where is the woman equivalent to this type of mindset, and to this type of lifestyle, to this type of thinking?
It doesn't exist.
They don't have it. All these bitches are overweight, out of shape, mad, depressed, yelling, screaming. You look terrible. They're broke. We're winning. Why? Because we were thinking men. We thought long term. We learned from our mistakes at a very young age, and we set our lives up to be 40. None of these women have prepared themselves to be 40.
No, they haven't. They prepared themselves for a 40, but not prepared themselves to be 40.
Jap, I don't know what you're trying to say about rappers. I wanted a feature. I don't know how old you are, but I thought I was getting a feature.
I can still do it, But I'm just saying, you know, to be a 50-year-old nigga.
Hey, all I'm saying is, man, I'm trying to get a deal. I done made 4 albums. I ain't made a dime yet. All right, shout out to Puff Daddy back in the day. BOA, what are your thoughts? Should you spend your 20s building your empire, or should you do it another way?
Well, it just depends on if you want to be great or not.
Okay,
Like, you can want to be good, you can want to be average, or you can want to be fucking great.
I like it. And
So let me tell you something about American society. This is the only society where we feel like we can fuck off some time doing some shit besides fucking grinding. You go to other cultures, the fucking 18, 19-year-olds are where we fucking are at 28, 29.
Right.
Because from the time they can bust a nut, they're being trained and taught how to go get it.
Yep.
Fuck these women, man. They gonna come regardless. Deal with them, but prioritize your life. To figure out what your passion is. We talk about your purpose. Fuck your purpose. You need to make your passion your purpose. You can say anything is my purpose, but what's your passion? Savo just said he and his brothers have been making movies since they can remember, since as far back as he can remember.
Yeah.
That's his passion. You got to figure out what your passion is, and you can't wait till you're fucking 30 to figure out your passion. You got to be on it, because guess what? While you're waiting, there's 15 other motherfuckers that figured out their passion when they were 16.
God damn right.
And they're grinding, and 2 of them got the same passion you got. So I'll say this, man. If anytime you're broke in your life, prioritize. Put that shit on paper. If it ain't on paper, it didn't happen, it ain't gonna happen. You can do any deal with anybody in the world, but if the shit ain't on paper, you're gonna have well, we made a verbal agreement. Fuck all that. Put it on paper. Have a plan of action. Have the steps, have the time frame you want to fulfill these steps in. Because when you're broke, man, when I was broke, my dick didn't work the way it worked when I'm paid, man. it just didn't work like that.
Talk, bro.
There was some shit going on. So I say, man, do that. And then with the time you have left from your grind, fuck with women during that time. If it's one day a week, you only got one day a week to fuck with women. If it's one day a month, guess who only got one day a month to fuck with women?
Damn right.
Prioritize your work when you're young. So, man, you know, my granddad used to tell me, he said, boy, I'm going to tell you something right now. He said, you know why I get to sit up in the big pretty house and do nothing, man, but have your grandma wait on me hand and foot? He said, because I work my young bone so my old bone can sit back and kick it like a king.
Real talk.
Heavy.
Grandpa knew what he was doing. I'm going to go to Kevin last because, Kevin, you are in your 20s. So let me ask you something. As a young guy, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, where do you see yourself at 30 years old?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. I want to be doing what I'm doing right now on a larger scale. That's one thing let
me interrupt right quick, man. I gotta ask everybody else on the panel. How great would it be for a motherfucker to ask you, where do you see yourself at 30? Just one more time.
Oh, just one more time.
One more time, man. All right, go ahead, Sabo. Go ahead,
I wish I would have dumped that bitch when I was.
That's what I'm saying. What I've been saying.
I wasted 7 years and I can't get back from that bitch.
Listen. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say to young guys. What I'll say is this, okay? Like, I got my collective, the fellas, my brothers and my boys, and we make movies and music and productions together. You know, we made a feature film this year, sold out premiere. You know, we've done a lot of stuff together, and I am the shortest of the group, and I'm the one that has women coming in and out the door like a revolving door. You know, I'm the one that gets the most women, and I think for the most part, everybody always thought that was glamorous. But what I'm going to say to young guys is this. Of all the women that I fucked with, once I really got my numbers up there, at this point, I look back and I'm like, did this make me any richer? Did this lend anything spectacular to my life? Did it get a business started? Did any of that, aside from what did I really do but waste a lot of time? I mean, it was good for the moment. But when you ask the question about building the empire, you know, in your 20s, yeah, I agree with that. And I actually hear Kevin Samuel's voice in my head going, in your 20s, get out there and fail. Try and fail at everything, because it's the only time you could do it. Now, you start failing in your 30s, start failing in your 40s, you're a joke. But you could fail at a couple of things in your 20s so that you know what works and what doesn't work for you. I guess the reason I stress so much to put women last on the list when you're around my age is because we do have the potential at this ripe age to let that tip too far, to let your feelings for a chick tip too far. And you know, something a lot of guys don't realize about building rotations and sleeping with multiple women is, you know, we'll always say like, okay, but I didn't commit, but I didn't decide to make her my girlfriend. But sometimes you get a little loose and a little lax and you forget, like, you went to bed with this girl 4 nights in a row this week.
Right.
That's your girlfriend now.
That's right.
You know, might still be complaining that you haven't committed, but guess what? You went to bed with this woman 4 times in a row this week. You've got yourself a girlfriend, and you trying to walk away from that'll be the same thing as if you walked away with a situation that has a title on it. Also been through a lot of chaos with women. I think that's where all of this is coming from. Mostly is that I've been through enough chaos to weigh out the odds, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to say. I think everybody made great points. I, in particular, really was keen on EO's points, because I was listening to how it counteracts some of my points, or I want to say balances it a little bit more. That, you know, just balance the scale. I think I want to say his advice is solid on that. Balance the scale, get your feet wet, experience what you need to experience to know what you're not missing out on when it's time to get focused. But when it is time to get focused, you really need to preserve your mental state. Once you catch feelings for a fucking 9 or a 10, I mean, at this age, it's really hard to bounce back from that. When you find a woman that does it for you in every way possible, your mind ain't going to work the same way. It's not going to, you won't be as focused. You won't be as driven.
You know what? I want to jump in real
corny,
quick.
man. To young guys out here, I don't want to sound corny, but you guys have got to understand in your 20s, your blessing is the lesson.
Yes.
You need to learn from your mistakes. And a lot of guys continue to make the same fucking mistakes all the damn time. You need to learn from these mistakes. And when you learn from these mistakes, you go through all this BS with these broads. Single moms, single mother's going to teach you a fucking lot. You're going to learn a lot. I'm talking about, man, you're going to learn how to deal with baby daddies. You're going to see everything you want to see in the world.
All of that.
Bitches. It comes out of the vagina of a single mother. But once you learn, once you get the lesson out of these blessings, man, and you become a wise man in your 30s and an even wiser man in your 40s, man, they cannot run circles around you. And this is what they're scared of. The only men that get taken advantage is a naive one. Those are the only men that get taken advantage of.
That's
when
right.
you are wise, these bitches are afraid. That's why they say, "Oh, who hurt you?"
Case in point, Brittany Renner, and I'm going to be breaking down the Kevin Samuels Brittany Renner piece just as sort of a side note, and then we'll get to EO. There's a reason why Brittany Renner didn't try to run that game on somebody like Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant, or Kyrie Irving, because those niggas know better. Nah, she went after PJ Walker while he was where? In college, 18, 19 years old. She knew he was a first-round draft pick. She got her hooks in him. Women will take advantage of naivety. Trust and believe. And Brittany Renner was not really, I mean, she was 6 years old.
She's in her 30s, bro.
Well, she's 29, but at the time she was, I mean, listen, at the time she's 6 years older than PJ Walker. That should show, even if she was the same age as PJ, she could have still ran the same gambit on him. Women will absolutely take advantage of naive men.
That's the size of
9 to 5er with the $5 super chat says we made it. Okay, EO, you have something.
Just a real quick point, because I can't speak for the other men because I don't know what they do with their business, but I coach a lot of men worldwide, different ages, young, 18, 21, 25, 40, 50, 60. Okay. Wow. I feel sorry for a motherfucker that never got the soul sucked out of his dick until he turned 35. Go make a lot of money and then go let an experienced woman suck the soul out of your dick. You're fucked. That dude is fucked for a while. And here's the truth. When I coach guys 23, 24, and they've been doing a lot of fucking and they didn't get no one pregnant. They've been pretty clean about it, made some mistakes, but they didn't get anybody pregnant. When I'm talking to him about a business plan, he's all for it because he's like, man, I already fucked a lot of hoes. I'm ready to make this money. So when you talk to a man who's not fucking and not talking to women, not getting socially calibrated, not being able to, not cold approaching, you got to cold approach early. So then later you ain't got a cold approach, not a motherfucker. You just go somewhere and pull up, and all these bitches want you now because they can smell it on you. It's in your walk. It's just in your swag. You cannot have that swag without experience. It's not possible, and no fancy talk is going to change that. I feel sorry for a man who put everything first and said, "Oh, I'll wait on women until I'm 35." Now a woman's gonna smell that inexperience on you and suck the soul out of your simp ass, and you're not gonna know what to do. So, am I happy to report this information? No, but this is the truth.
It's the truth.
Get all that shit out of your system. Like get hit by Canelos, get hit by as many Canelos as you can, so you can work up that jaw. Okay, and then you can work on defense, and then you build up an incredible offense. So this is the best way, in my opinion, and I'm a motherfucking player. Okay, straight up player. With women and in business and in life. So I'm telling you, I have guys that I coach that are 35 talking about, man, a woman just ruined me. And I'm like, but he's financially stable though. He can hire me for an annual package. I charge 10 grand for a year, and that's going up. So, but what I'm saying is, why is he saying that? Because he didn't make time to spend time with women and learn them, learn their quirks, learn their dumbass personalities, look at how they prioritize important things. So that I'm telling you, get it out early, get hit in the jaw, work up that jaw, and then get it out of your system. No, they ain't shit. And then go make your money. And 30 years old is very young. Don't let anybody tell you 30 is young. God. Now, if you wait till 40 to start doing shit, your body changes. You get you're just a little more tired. Some people tell you, I feel better at 40 than 30. You're lying. Like maybe you just don't party as much as you used to. That's the only difference. So I'm telling you, don't wait till 40 to start working. 30, do it in your about 25. I would say. That's not to say don't work on networking and maybe work for the street department. Work a step stool job, a pedestal job early, and then you network, and then you get opportunities. But you gotta know what it's like to fuck. You gotta feel pussy, all kind of pussy. Not all pussy is the same, okay? Because visually it's not the same. Visually it's not the same. It may feel the same, but she's gonna sound different, look different. You have to know that. They smell different. Her hair is going to smell different. It's just a completely different experience. And the more women that you sample, the better your preferences are moving forward. I got to say that because I coach men 35 who's been with 2 women that got a lot of money. They're scared to death of women, man. And that's because they didn't make it a priority early on.
Wow, very well said. Man. Does anybody have anything else to add?
Yeah, but EO, the girl that sucked the life out of me, she keyed my car up real good, and I love that car.
Hey, you'll get another one.
I like that car. I got another one now, but I like that one better.
But the bitch that'll the bitch that'll suck the soul out of you, those are the bitches that'll key up your car. That's just it.
Let me chime in on that, Don. Let me chime in on that. EO made some good points, man. Here's the thing: if you wasn't fucking in your teens, you gotta fuck in your 20s.
Yes, sir.
Like that's the. I think that's the differentiating factor. If your ass went all the way through school and you wasn't the guy who was getting no pussy, you got to fuck in your 20s. But it doesn't take all of your 20s to get that shit in. Once you hit the ground running, if the later you fuck, the more you gonna fuck.
That's right.
But if you get if you start really getting play from women, man, I mean, you're the motherfucker. At 20, by the time you're 23, you should be played the fuck out because you're gonna be running them. You young, you finally you hit the ground running. I don't really think there's an age where you got to have this shit figured out or you need to figure it out. You just, whenever you start fucking, because you can't dictate when you're going to start fucking. Like, you got to become that motherfucker that pussy says, I think I want to give myself to him. He's the motherfucker. You just, if it was the case where every man could just jump into the pussy, you wouldn't have these guys out here, man. I did a fucking consultation with a 60-year-old guy who married a fucking stripper. At 59, man.
Oh my
59 years old. He married a stripper. But
he didn't get that soul sucked out early.
Look, he was a guy who had his fun when he was young.
Oh, Jesus.
But he got older. When you get older, what the fuck you did in your 20s, that shit don't matter when you 50. If you're out of shape, that's one thing that's gonna fuck with you because your dick ain't gonna work like it used to.
No, it's not.
So you likely to be in a strip club. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're a 50-year-old man, you fucking and you set financially, man, you ain't really got no business, man, going on no strip club trying to find a motherfucking girlfriend, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think when it really boils down, I think we all have to remember that some guys don't fuck until they 20. And if you don't fuck until you 20, yeah, you got a little window there, man, where you got to go ahead and get your fucking in. But some of us, were fucking pretty young there, and you get to figure it out young. Because here's the thing, y'all men got to understand. Women don't change. They just get better at manipulating and concealing.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right.
You know, so I mean, I think EO and I are in agreement about one thing. If you don't understand women, you're gonna get fucked because women already understand your ass.
You know it.
That's true. Yeah.
You know
Can I
it.
put the cherry on
And,
this?
and another thing too, you ain't. This is my experience. You're not really fucking early either. Nobody knows how to fuck at 16. Okay, you're putting your dick in a hole and you ain't
And you're
stroking
like,
shit.
and you can't.
You don't really
look,
get your
you
stroke
can't
down
believe you're
until
fucking.
you like 21, 22. In my opinion, like there's a difference between putting your dick in a pussy and then fucking. Like there's a difference. Like fucking in multiple positions and you're just dominating the broad. Like now you're fucking. But in the beginning, you're learning like, oh shit, that was cool. That was warm. First time I got blown, I was in a bathtub with a bitch. And I warned her, I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to come. She was like, go ahead. I'm like, damn, this bitch was ready for the nut.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
like it, for me, when I didn't even enjoy my first blowjob because I was afraid of busting it, like in her mouth and shit, but now I'll just spray her whole fucking body and leave, So there's just I agree with BOA, but I would just say like you're not really fucking at 16. You're not. You're fucking like when you're 21, 22. Now you're really fucking. You're stroking. But early on, you ain't really fucking. I don't.
I was murdering that pussy.
Let me put a cherry on
I
this.
ain't lying.
Can I put a cherry on this?
Go ahead, Hotep. You got it.
I thought I was anyway.
Here's how you unlock your superpower. And I did it by accident.
Oh shit.
When a woman's ready to have sex with you and you say no.
That's it.
Once you say it was a chick. I wrote about this in Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity. I had a Puerto Rican chick from Brooklyn. And we smashed every weekend. And one weekend I went out there and I just wanted her company. I really wasn't in the mood to have sex. And she went to go have sex. And I said, baby, I'm not into that right now. And she broke down crying like a baby. And I said, oh shit, what is this? And ever since then, I found a new superpower. So use that to your advantage.
The power of no. I guess the last thought before I read these last couple super chats. The first blowjob I ever got was at night.
Here we go.
It was actually at a playground. Me and my girl,
Oh, Christ.
me and my girl were at the playground. It's probably midnight or whatever. I think we had gone to see what the fuck I don't even remember what the fuck did we went to see. But yeah, she sat there and blew me right on the playground. Yep, swallowed the kids and everything. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck am I gonna do now? I was like, what is happening? I was hooked. I was in love. All right, a couple more super chats here, then we'll get to our final thoughts. Unique 79 with the 10 British pound super chat says, as EO said one time, do not be that middle-aged guy drinking in a bar all by himself and looking into space while thinking about the opportunities you missed out on. Wow. That is powerful. The last super chat of the day, Ice Dragon Kid, $10 says, so much wisdom. Thank you. I'll be able to lead my son better because of you guys. DJ Chantel on the looks like the Twitch side says, like last night's Fresh and Fit stream. I've got so much to break down on Fresh and Fit. It's just, oh my God, they're the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, let's give our closing thoughts and tell the people where they can find you. Sabo, lead us off, man.
Final thoughts, man. I think tonight seemed to have been about balancing the scale. That's what I've gotten from when we went around the panel. I think I'm a little harsh on this subject, but in my mind, I think I'm more coming from the mindset of good, even though I mean, I'm the young guy saying this shit, but I'm almost thinking in terms of like good fatherly advice. Like, I don't know, some of you guys on the panel are old enough to have a kid my age, but not all of you. And I think I almost wanted to ask the question. Like that you've got a kid that's, around my age, or you have a kid in general, you have a son who's saying, Dad, I'm just trying to run through as many bitches as possible. You know what I mean? That's like his only goal. And you understanding that, but now, what would you say to him? How do you tell him that it's about a balance? And to me, I think with EO and what everybody had to say is talking about the balance of business and money. My final thought is a man's happiness, mostly, if you want to narrow it down to two things, seems to be split between finances and sex, but you can live without one and one you can't live without. I'm Sabo. You can find me on the Adventures of Sabo Ho channel and the Fellas channel, where I got my music. Thanks, everybody.
Good stuff, man. BOA.
Yeah, I'll close with this, man. When I was 16, man, I was living in Atlanta for a minute before my mom got tired of me running bitches in and out of the crib, man, disrespecting her. I didn't think it was disrespect then, but now in retrospect, it really was. So I had a bitch that was 25, man, who rode 2 buses and a MARTA train to come see me at 16 because she just couldn't get enough of the way I was dropping that shit off in her drawers. But I'll say this, I did have a different start from everyone else. So I'm kind of partial. I have to make sure that when I'm talking, I'm not talking from my perspective, which I tend to do a lot, which we always do. But I have to make sure, since I was already taught that bitches weren't shit from before I even started dealing with them and didn't have to go through the rigmarole, I have to remind myself that many guys, I mean, weren't that privileged. You know, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. It's kind of a curse, but it's more of a blessing than anything else. So I'll say this, man. When it really comes down to it, your goal is to understand that women can't be fucking trusted as quickly as possible. That's your goal. If it takes fucking until you 30, you got to fuck. It might take you fucking until you 40. And until you get to the point where you're not going to fall in love with some bitch, you got to keep doing what you got to do. But in the meantime, understand this. There's a better chance that you going to have that shit figured out by the time you 40 than there is a chance that you're going to have your motherfucking money straight by the time you 30. And I'm just saying this, man, with the way the society is now, the fucking internet has sped up shit so fast.
Yeah, man.
That if you are pussyfooting around, this ain't early 2000s anymore. If you pussyfooting around, man, there's motherfuckers out here compiling information on your ass back to back. So learn. Fuck women as much as you need to learn. But you have to assign that shit to the time that you have left over from your motherfucking grind. Because if I just don't see no other way to put that shit, man. If you are sacrificing time from your grind for bitches, I mean, that shit ain't gonna end up right for you.
Okay. Very good, man. Where can the people find you?
Book of Alpha Running Me, man. IG, YouTube, TikTok. I'm trying to fuck with TikTok, man, but I swear I feel like a kid when I'm on that motherfucker, man. It's like a kid site.
They're gonna take you off there too.
I don't really want to fuck with TikTok, man.
Anything red pill.
I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way about that.
Yeah,
they'll get them.
I'm like, damn.
What you got, Jeff?
Words to live by for my young brothers out there, man. These bitches ain't shit. And live by it and know it. Recreational use. Understand what recess is. Understand what a dick distraction is. A lot of these women are just a dick distraction. You know, they in your way, distracting you from your goals, fucking your whole shit up. A lot of guys, especially we simp so you didn't have to. So you need to learn from our mistakes. And I'm gonna say this too. How you deal with women is going to determine how long you're going to be successful. Because you could be the next Mark Zuckerberg, but you fuck around and go marry a stripper or do some shit like marry the next Anna Nicole Smith and she take you for all your money. Will be the detriment of your whole fucking existence. Women are usually a man's downfall if he picks wrong. So you need to really become a wise man and become a student of this game and make sure you're watching every one of us on the panel that pertain to your life and get something out of this. My name is Minister Jap. You can find me, Minister Jap, on YouTube. Every morning I'm cooking. You also can find me on Instagram, Minister Jap Church and Minister.Jap. I got a backup one because the shit is so potent that they keep trying to take me off, but I'm not going nowhere.
And Jeff now has 16 secret YouTube channels as of last count.
Minister Jap's featured.
Yes.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody. Great conversation tonight. I like that there was some differences here and there because that's good. You need to have that. The only thing I will say is just to be clear, because I want to make sure the guys understand my portion of it. Make women a priority, but not top priority. Okay, I just want to make sure so it's not misunderstood. You make you the number one priority. Learn how to work with people, network with people. I would suggest early on, try to get a job that forces you to communicate with the outside world. Don't do it necessarily for money. Do it for experience. So work at a coffee shop, work for T-Mobile, sell some cell phones or some shit. Because you're gonna need that experience communicating with people, and that's gonna help you even with women and in guys like us too. When I moved out of my mom's house pretty early because I didn't even have a room. I didn't have comfortable conditions. I didn't have a back room where I can, eat Doritos and play video games. Like I didn't even have a room. Like from 15 on, I slept on a floor. And my sister had a room. I didn't. So it was good though that I had that experience. Now, many of you may not have that experience. I can only speak for myself. Like I did not have comfortable conditions. So I had to get out there, get in sales early. I didn't even know how to tie a tie until I was about 23. I had to ask a neighbor for a tie. I didn't even own one. I had no clothes, no money. And I had a Latina girlfriend who I was having problems with. So I remember I started my first day in sales, and I was with this fine ass Latina, and we broke up. So I started my first day on a sales floor with some sharks, and then I broke up with a girl. And then everybody at the job said I was going to be the first one to get fired. They had like a running bet. They said, out of all the new recruits, who do you think won't make it? And all of them said me. Well, I was the last one standing after 6 months. Everybody else got fired. I didn't wish that on them, but I succeeded. And I'm one of the best salespeople in the world. So I'm going to tell you, prioritize yourself, your livelihood, get your own place, know what it's like to pay your own rent. I don't suggest you get roommates. I never had a roommate.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't suggest it. If you go that route, no problem. But I suggest, hey, try to pay all your shit by yourself. Live affordably. Don't go for nothing real fancy early on, because you got to know what it's like to pay your utility bill, your rent on time. Get a reliable vehicle. You don't have to get anything super sharp, but if you can afford it, hey, get that experience too. But make sure you're communicating with women, because you don't want to be that guy that's got paper good credit, but you don't know how to talk to women. You're awkward, you're corny, you're inexperienced, you can't fuck, you don't even know how to get a blowjob. Like there's an art to getting a blowjob.
Yes, there is.
You can't be sitting there like you can't do that, man. Because once the woman sees like, oh, this motherfucker never had his dick sucked, not by anybody like me. Now she's gonna run game on you. But if you're sitting in a chair chewing gum with a 40, like that's a different story. Now she respects you because she knows you had your dick sucked. So remember, make women a priority, not top, but I would say number 3. It's like your finances, building a foundation. You don't have to get it decorated foundation. You don't have to have like the subtle details mapped out, but the foundation should be there. But then deal with women casually. And then by the time you're 30, you already know they ain't shit. Like, you know this. Like, so now you can go in. These women can't run game on you. You're running game on them. You're leading the process. So I'm Coach EO. All you got to do is search me, Coach EO. You'll find me. A great show tonight. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Shout out to Unique 79. Let me pull something up here. Yeah, shout out to Unique 79 with another. He had another $13.43 Cash App. He says one last thing is to be sexually disciplined. Be sexually disciplined. That's what Coach Everett Overton.
You know what? I'll 10 seconds on that. You can't be sexually disciplined without fucking first.
That's right.
Okay, you can't do it. You can't resist pizza after you've had so many pizzas that now you look in the mirror, you see a walking pizza. Okay, now you shouldn't get to that point, but sometimes you do have to get to a point where you like, man, I can't eat this shit no more. I can't fuck women like that no more. I can't even deal with women like that no more, because you have to have enough of it. You got to have enough of it to say, I'm done with that shit.
Good stuff, man. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about a man you've probably never heard of, and I'm gonna leave this sexually disciplined.
Tommy Morrison.
Tommy Morrison. A lot of you guys probably don't know who he is.
What a story, man! What a story from this.
You should all know who he is.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what here. Tommy Morrison, heavyweight professional boxer. He was 42-3. I think he had 42-3. 42 knockouts. Like, this guy was the real deal.
He was a bad motherfucker.
Ray Mercer knocked him out. He probably should have TKO. They probably should have called that TKO about 5 punches into that 10-hit combo. Damn near took his head off. Then, of course, he lost to Lennox Lewis later in his career, as most of them did. Well, Tommy Morrison A kid from Oklahoma, didn't really have much, but he could hit hard. Sylvester Stallone discovered him and cast him as Tommy, quote, the Machine Gun in Rocky V. Now, Rocky V was the worst Rocky of them all, but Tommy Morrison was he was on the map at that point. I remember I watched a sports documentary on Tommy Morrison, and I'll never, ever, ever forget. It was a clip that they had of him. He said, I brought a girl home one day, and it was clear she wanted to fuck, but I was nervous. I had never had sex before, so I told her to go home. And my father told me, don't you ever turn down a girl who wants to fuck. If a girl wants to fuck you, you absolutely fuck her. Okay, Tommy Morrison was 14 years old. And you want to know something? He listened to his father's advice. This was Tommy Morrison before. This is Tommy Morrison after.
Whoa.
Tommy Morrison died of full-blown AIDS at the age of 44. Okay? AIDS, obviously, is a sexually transmitted disease. Tommy Morrison was not sexually disciplined. To be honest with you, Tommy Morrison probably had sex with more women than all of us combined times 20. He had absolutely zero sexual discipline. As a matter of fact, he actually used to get this stuff in a vial. He used to get somewhere on the Vegas Strip. He used to inject it into his penis so that he could fuck all night. Like, he just absolutely, dude, he was running through. He probably has more kids than Wilt Chamberlain. The point is, guys, if you do not have sexual discipline, it will destroy your life. Now, the case of Tommy Morrison, he got lucky. He died at the age of 44, septic shock, and all of, I mean, he died of full-blown AIDS. There are a lot of men out here who are dying very, very slow deaths. Travis Henry, 8 kids. Evander Holyfield, 11 kids. Dominique, wait a minute. Oh, Antonio Cromartie, 10 kids. Sean Kemp, at least 13 kids. That is a very slow and painful death. Any money these guys make is going to all 38 of their baby mamas. Tommy Morrison is very, very fortunate that he is dead now at the age of 44. And you can see this kid was born with the genetics of a Greek god. And look what his lack of sexual discipline turned him into. This man died at my age because he did not have sexual discipline. If you guys haven't heard anything we have said tonight, dick discipline is the key. If you don't have dick discipline, you absolutely have nothing. My name is Donovan Sharpe. You guys can find me, just type Donovan Sharpe anywhere. There's a 3-hour documentary on my life at the 21 Studios on 21 Studios. Guys, be sure and check that out. Hey man, may as well promote it while it's still up. Yeah, be sure to go to donovansharpe.com. I have all sorts of courses and all sorts of media. Tune in tomorrow at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be breaking down the Kevin Samuels Brittany Renner interview. Until then, my thanks to Jap.
I didn't get to close out.
Oh, you didn't? I thought I had you close out. Well, never mind. Let's go to Hotep. Hang on a second. Hotep, close us out, dude. I thought I had everybody there. I thought I had.
No, I'll make it quick.
No. Go ahead. Take it.
I'll drop these gems on it real fast.
Go ahead. You got it.
In the dating marketplace, the one thing you got to know is you got to know yourself. It is 4 pillars of knowing yourself. You got to know your political ideology, your religious ideology, your financial ideology, and your health ideology. Now, I'll say this about political ideology. If you're a Democrat or a Republican, you're not ready to date and you should not have any kids. Ooh. You know you have a great political ideology when you're an anarcho, libertarian, or somewhere in that world. But if you're a Democrat or Republican, please don't have kids. Please don't date. Please don't make any more of you. You still don't get it yet.
And that, my friends, is why Hotep is essentially banned off of pretty much every platform. Except for
me on menoforder.com.
I love it.
And check out my editorials.
That is sage fucking advice, because I don't think I'm a Democrat or a Republican, but I ain't trying to have no kids. Thank you all, gentlemen, for being here on the panel, and I will see you guys next week.